I want to move on to tipping culture. So speaking of popular Christian influencer people, Mike Winger put out a tweet, and it read, bro, yeah, you have it up. Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, it read, what is your philosophy on giving tips at restaurants? So this is my take. And I see the poll. Was that most people tip 10 to 20% based on service, okay? This is my philosophy. Usually I'm around 20% when I tip, bro, at a restaurant. Okay, this is a sit-down service or delivery. If you're delivering me something, or if it's a service, or if it's at a restaurant, I usually tip around 20%. If it's a bad service, right, it can be less, or even it could be zero. And
zero.
And a lot, that's a big hot take. But let me explain. Well, let me get to that in a sec. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
The reason why it can sometimes be zero, bro, is because a lot of the times I can tell if a person's just having a bad day, which I would completely understand. They have a bad day, they're overwhelmed. Sure, I'll still give you a little bit of a tip, okay? Maybe 15, 10%. No lower than 10%. If I'm lower than 10%, then it's zero, okay? Mm-hmm. So, and then usually I'll leave a gospel tract with whatever I'll leave them with. And then and I have a thing here, if you can't afford the tip, then don't go out to eat. Just plain and simple. You shouldn't be going out to eat if you can't afford the tip. Man, these people get paid $2, even sometimes less dollars an hour, right? And they're making their living off of service. They're not making their living off of the restaurant. They're making their living off of their service to you and you appreciating their service, okay? But I'm going to tip accordingly, okay? So I know that, whatever you're walking out with tonight, I contributed a lot to. So just saying, right? If you tip, if you have really great service, I'm tipping you upwards of 30%, right? 30, I'm tipping, right? But again, it's according to your service. And I want to kind of defend myself on the zero tipping, bro. Hear me out.
Well, you got to defend yourself on the 30% too, bro. You got to defend yourself on that too. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so like for example, bro. I mean,
okay.
I've had. Remember James Gutierrez, bro? Just how you remember the guy that discipled me? You met him a couple times.
Oh, I didn't know his last name. Yeah, I remember James. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and he's like a super nice guy, very loving, like
for sure.
Like great guy.
Yeah.
If I get his kind of attitude, friends, think about the most graceful, most loving, kind person that you can think of. Multiply that times 2, then double that again. You get James, right? So imagine this dude is your waiter, bro, and he's just giving you such good service. It's good timing. He's refilling your glasses. He's asking how can he help you. Let's say I even have an issue and he resolves it and then some, and he vouches for me to the manager. Like, I mean, he's earned it, bro. He deserves
you're speaking
more.
about like a once in a lifetime type of waiter. It seems like.
Sure. Yes. Of course. Which is why I'm going to give you more because you earned more. Right,
yeah. Okay. I can see that. I can see that.
You earn your wages, right?
You got me.
But now let's go to the opposite spectrum.
Yeah.
If you're not,
I gotta hear this.
If you're not serving me, then you don't get paid for not serving me. And so, respectfully, you got an attitude. You're taking forever to come take my order, and it's not because you're busy; it's just because you don't want to be there. I mean, you may even put in the wrong order, and it's your fault, not the kitchen's fault. I mean, you're not refilling my glass, which means you're not serving me. You're not fixing any kind of problem. You don't care. You're not putting me ahead of whatever, And I see that you're treating the rest of the people like that too. I mean, I'm watching, right?
Yeah.
I mean, bro, like, I'm not tipping, bro. I'm not paying for no service because I didn't get any service. I had to get you to come over here, etc. You had a bad attitude. Even worse, I mean, you had a bad attitude towards me. For me, I didn't even do anything to you, right? I mean, yeah. But there's a difference between that and someone who's having a bad day. You could tell, and you know me, bro. I'm a pretty upbeat guy. Like I'll crack a joke, I'll try to, whatever. But and this is the last thing I'll say about this. But Elizabeth said it perfectly. The big beautiful bill. These people their tips are not getting taxed anymore. So
Yep.
so you better, bro. You better be, you better be going crazy. Now, Christian, I think this is a little
Yep.
far. Not
Nope.
leaving a track.
Nope, that's not too far, bro. If you're leaving no tip, don't leave them a track, bro. They're gonna rip it up and put it in the trash anyway. So they even bother, man.
But that person needs a track more than anyone.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm leaving it. And if they tear it up, then hey, I'll take the blame for that. You know, I'll give my account for that.
Right.
But no, so that's my philosophy, bro. I'm out of focus. But if I'm not tipping, like I have very low standards for just basic service. Like if you're just doing your job, whatever, 20% is fine. But like you got to be very bad. And I'm not leaving a tip. I'm not leaving a tip, bro. That's my money, and respectfully, you didn't earn it. So that's my philosophy. But I wanted to know your philosophy in the chat. Like, I just want to know where do Christians stand on this whole thing? We're not going to talk about the baristas yet. I'm talking about restaurants right now.
Exactly. We'll get to
We'll
them
get
here
to
in a minute.
that. We'll get to that in a second.
But yeah, so when it comes to tipping, I basically in almost default at 20% unless something great happens or something really bad happens, because I always leave a gospel track. And even if they give me bad service, I'm trying to provoke them, and by giving them more than they deserve, to read that gospel track. I'll tell you this, bro. You may have never seen me do this before, but when I go to restaurants sometimes, I will give them the tip, like it's in cash. I think back to Cracker Barrel when I give cash tip because you go to the register and pay the bill. I'll give them a cash tip, and I'll say, here's your tip, and it's like about 20%. And I'll say, but I'll give you this much more if you tell me you'll read this. And that commits them, bro. And, I mean, I obviously can't guarantee they're going to read it, but I can almost guarantee they're reading it at that point. So I do that sometimes. Other times when I go to a restaurant, I'll ask the waitress, after she takes her order and brings her food, I said, we're going to pray here in a moment. Is there anything we can pray for you about? And it kind of opens the door to give them the track later on. And it kind of, if they have an attitude, it straightens them out too. It helps them to straighten out. Now,
That's a good point.
I have had some bad service, and I'll leave less than 20% tip. But when I do that, it's like, well, I probably won't leave them a gospel track because I'm concerned that they're gonna attach, even though it's their fault, they're not getting a good tip. No doubt about it. That they're going to attach this bad experience to Jesus Christ and the gospel track I'm leaving for them. So, like you said, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt if they're having a bad day, encourage them some way, give them a track, still leave them a decent tip. But listen, like the guy you were explaining about a second ago, the 30%, if they're doing above and beyond, like I'm leaving them a better tip, I'm going to tell them, listen, you did great today.
Yeah.
It was this fantastic service, because I can almost guarantee you they're not getting encouragement from other people. They're probably getting complaints more than anything. So
Right.
just like I want good service, I try to be a good person to serve.
Same.
Someone who they'd want to serve. Like I'm not causing problems for them. I shouldn't have to make the call of the waitress. You ever heard of the call of the waitress, bro?
Well, I'm using my context clues. I'm assuming that you're just calling them over and
No, bro.
like ringing the bell,
No, that's not it either.
slipping on the drink and making
There it
noises
is, bro.
with it.
There it is.
Okay.
So like if my drink, I'm like, I'm sucking on as hard as I can to get the call of the waitress. Listen, my drink's empty. Come fill it up. Right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to do that. But so I'm trying to be compassionate towards them, like you were mentioning a second ago. That's kind of my philosophy on tipping. And this is coming from someone who has been a server and at multiple different restaurants, and my wife has been a high-end server at like really, really fancy restaurants where back in 2000 the bill was like $200 at the door at minimum. So she's worked on some really fancy restaurants. So we kind of have compassion for the servers in these situations. That's why we probably start at 20% and leave it at that.
So baristas, fast food, anything non-service, turning the iPad over. Most people on here are probably going to say, "Oh, I never tip." You'd be surprised by me, bro. So
Okay,
yes,
let's
I
hear it,
am.
bro.
So yes, I am hard on my restaurant tippers, but I'm also hard on my baristas. And here's the thing: I almost never tip baristas or anything like that, like ever. Right? Right. if I do tip, it's with cash, and they can like keep, or they can like keep the change, or you do something like that, because they are above and beyond. And I mean, like, maybe you threw in something for free. I don't know, like whatever it is. Like again, like I got a James taking my order, and he's even got he may even have like a Jesus King shirt or something like that. And I'm just like, man, this guy's epic. Like, here's some money. Like, I don't know. Or even like if there's an opportunity to give him a gospel tract, I might give him like a couple dollars on top of it, right? Something like that. But again, but that's only like maybe like 1% of the time. 99% of the time, of course, I'm not clicking any of those stupid 10, 15, 20% options on that stupid iPad that they turn over in front of you. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. The person who should be getting the money, first of all, I used to work at Little Darling and flip burgers, and all the cashier did was type in buttons. So why in the world are we tipping? That money better be going to me. I'm over here. Right. I'm over here slaving away. Like, I got 30 patties on the grill, right? Like, I got 15 tickets. Come on, bro. So that's my philosophy on that.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember going back to my wife working as a waitress at that fancy restaurant. She would have to tip out from her tips, the cook, the bartender, whatever. Everybody, even the hostess, got tipped. So my philosophy of tipping culture, of the stuff you're mentioning now, is that not the waitresses who are getting $2 an hour before tips. We're talking about those who are getting paid a good wage, and the owner of the restaurant or the establishment, whatever it is, does not want to pay the person what they should pay them. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like he's deflecting the cost. It should be to him, deflecting it off to the customers. Mm-hmm. Right? No, how about you, the owner, pay this person what you should be paying, so you're not putting a burden and a false guilt upon me to give them a tip for doing nothing, basically doing nothing. And it also, not only does it reflect upon the owners of these businesses, brother, it also reflects upon, no offense, bro, Gen Z. Because it's mostly young people working at these places like the coffee shops, the fast food restaurants, whatever it may be, where they're asking you for a tip when they're flipping the iPad over to you or whatever. And it's like, what did you do that deserves a tip? And it's like they have this victim mentality, like, I deserve this because I deserve it.
Bro,
that's all there is to it.
The absolute worst example of this is I every now and then on my way back from work or to work, if I know I'm going to have a long night or a long day at work, I'll stop at a Dutch Bros Coffee.
Okay.
We've got like 1,000 of these around here. I don't have a coffee maker, so unfortunately sometimes I got to bite the bullet and pay for overpriced coffee. Okay? And look, I mean, I know you're standing out there with your iPad, but like, you don't have to, right? Like, you got windows, you got 2 lanes. I mean, so anyway, they'll flip over the iPad and ask for a tip every time, and I'm like, all you did was ask what I wanted, typed in 2 things, and then I paid with my card, right? Like, I had to reach over and get my wallet. I probably did more labor than you did. Like, I had to. I'm just saying, bro.
I defiantly, without any guilt whatsoever, press no tip. Almost every single time.
It's a little okay.
I don't feel
awkward,
any guilt in pressing no tip every single time, bro.
It's awkward though, bro, because they'll be like, "No, you know what? No, the worst part is like, here's gonna ask you a question, no pressure." I'm just like, "Oh, this is awkward. Oh, this is so awkward, bro." Like, I don't know.
They shouldn't have to give that disclaimer. Just take my car, let me pay for my stuff, and let me move on.
But then they'll flip the iPad back, and they'll see that you didn't leave a tip, and it's like, oh man, what does that person think of me now? It's like,
I don't even care, bro. But you know what I thank God for, bro? I don't drink coffee.
Well, that's good, bro. You a Mormon?
No, bro. I just think it's disgusting.
Oh, that's
I don't like
a hot
the way it
take.
smells, like the way it tastes.
Bro.
I've tried through the years because my wife likes coffee. I've tried to drink coffee, bro, and every time I drink it, it's horrible. There was one coffee a long time ago that a sister named Tabitha made for me. It didn't even taste like coffee. It had a little bit of a fruity taste to it, and it was passable. It was consumable. but I never asked for it again.
Yeah, Christians love their coffee, man. So you might want to plead the fifth on that one next time. But yeah, I think it's ridiculous what these people, these places expect tips and stuff. And like you said, bro, it's really big on the culture. I found out something crazy, but we are one of the only countries in the entire world that does this. This isn't a thing in like 90% of the countries across the world. Tipping, right? Most of these people, these servers are getting paid fair wages. There's no expectation of tips. And I'm sure there's even countries out there where tipping is low-key probably looked down upon. It's probably offensive even, So, maybe we should make America great again by doing that. That'd be
well, Trump did just pass the bill where they're not going to pay taxes on tips anymore. So that should mean they don't need as much tips.
Yeah.
But hey, here's a little insight. Unfortunately, I would guarantee that most waiters and waitresses don't claim all they're getting tipped on their paycheck anyway. Because when I worked for Ryan Steakhouse, I would claim every single penny, and it was a witness to my supervisor because no one else did that, and I was claiming to be a Christian. Right? And so everyone else was getting away with it, and they weren't paying their fair share of taxes anyway. So maybe now they'll start claiming everything they make because they're not going to pay any taxes on it.
Right. I want a little joke, little humor right here, but Adam says Israel is a bigger tip culture than but come
100.
on, like come on, we know, come on, like we know
100,
why.
bro.
Yeah,
100. They're all expecting.
I mean,
tips
of course,
for everything,
you can't compare. Of course, you can't. Come on, bro.
I mean, for real, bro.
Come on, bro.
They're expecting it because you're over there in their country. They're showing you around.
Yeah.
And they're expecting you to give them lots of money. And, of course, the Christian Zionism movement goes too far. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a Christian Zionist, but it goes too far, acting as if Israel can do nothing wrong or couldn't even possibly try to cheat you out of your money. Every country you go to that's not America, and it probably happens in America too. I'm not a tourist in America, so I wouldn't know. But they try to take your money from you. They see you as some rich person because you're from America. And to be fair, we are rich compared to most countries, but doesn't mean they got to try to take advantage of you.
I agree.